Oh, she's kind of crooked. I'll fix it in post.
Yeah, fix yourself in post. How about that? You need some post-op.
Wow.
Anyway.
What a way to start.
Nick, the entire setup is literally just on you.
No, if you go and you look, we're centered.
Why is that all the way to the right?
Do you see the camera? Do you see the cameras in between the middle of us?
The camera's flashing? Yeah, that's why I'm wearing sunglasses, Diva. That's why, the cameras are flashing.
For those who are just listening and you're not watching on the YouTube, Peru kept his sunglasses on. He informed me before we started recording that he would not be taking them off. And I went, oh, okay, she's having a diva moment today.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for speaking for me on my behalf. Thank you, sister. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, sister.
Thank you for breaking the news. Hola, ¿cómo están?
Do you want to inform people on what you're doing, what this little performance is?
Well, visual learners, if you're watching this, you will probably know that I have a new hairstyle and a new look. I am going to PTown tomorrow. As of this, I'm already in PTown, actually, and probably already got dick down, hopefully, crossing my fingers.
At the dick dock.
At the dick dock. And I decided that I was going to do Latin Poppy cosplay for the entire week, so I am debuting one of the looks that I'll be sporting. All purchased from the nearby Dollar Dominican store by my apartment. Some... probably stole
the necklace too.
The necklace I've had, and obviously my Celine's, which were a gift. And if you've seen on my Instagram at Hey Peru,
I did see that.
Yeah.
You did. You also went. Oh, what was it? It was something about dropping the OnlyFans, and then immediately after JK.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Wow, she's paying attention.
She's baiting.
That's new. I'm baiting. But I felt really wanted to last year I went full on platinum blonde. I was giving Brooklyn guy, came over to PTown to, crash the system. But this time, I want to be part of the Latin fucking agenda.
And I'm happy for my sister.
Mi nombre es Peru. Pioneer Peru.
And I'm Trailblazer Nick. And
this is Pioneers and Trailblazers. Although, I don't know how to translate Pioneers and Trailblazers to Spanish. No, I have no idea. My God, it's a good one, actually.
Well, you have your phone. You could just look it up.
Oh, that's very true. Hey, Siri, how do you say pioneer in Spanish?
I found 4 results in Spanish.
Colonizador, colonizer.
That's perfect for you.
Oh, my God, I'm colonizador Peru. Oh, my God, T.
And I'm Trailblazer Nick, and then we already did this already.
Well, you're Trailblazer. Hey, Siri, how do you say Trailblazer in Spanish? Oh, it's I guess pionero so pioneer is an actual Spanish word.
Oh, okay.
But they also say explorador. But then beneath it is masculine, which you ain't. So.
Wow.
Me neither, sis. Except now.
Well, I mean, you're gonna be mask fishing all week.
Oh, I mean, this is just what I look like. I can't help that I look like this.
You can't help that
I can't help that I look like this just because I intentionally am wearing an extra large white Hanes t-shirt above a white tank top and
a silver chain
with a cross on it does not mean I'm fishing.
Right, of course.
And actually, this is me embracing part of my culture. See, the guys that wore this used to scare me when I was little. Mm-hmm. I was so intimidated by them. I'm reclaiming my power.
By turning into them.
But Trojan horsing it,
But their masculinity is also performance.
Yeah, exactly. So, why not perform masculinity,
I mean, if that's what you want to do. If that's what you want to do.
I think it's very fun. But listen, it's literally me just looking like this, but then just being get it?
No, I get it.
I'm going to be it's as soon as I open my mouth, I'm going to be oh, he's...
When the purse falls out.
Oh my God, it was because of you that I don't have...
and because of me, I did... What? What did I do?
So at our job, there's a lost and found bin in which things get collected. God. And I wanted to take this really cute, really, really pretty metal, it was a really pretty, vintage, metal card holder in which I wanted to put cash in. And I left it on the desk and then Nick gave it away to somebody else.
I didn't give it away. Lovely, sometimes listener of the pod, Jerry. Shout out to Jerry. It was sitting on the desk when I got to work on Sunday. And I was like, oh, oh, who was digging in Lost and Found and left this out? And I left it there, and then Jerry came to relieve me to, you know, work the dinner shift, and he goes, oh, is this yours? And I went, no, that was from Lost and Found. I don't know what's doing on the desk. It was here when I got here. And he goes, oh, I think I'm gonna, he goes, do you have dibs on it? And I said, no. And he was like, oh, I think I might take it. And I said, yeah, go ahead, girl. It's been here forever.
It was there.
Months.
No, I put it on the desk within the day.
But it had been sitting in Lost and Found for months.
I know that because that's why I was waiting to take it, you know.
Well, I didn't know there was not a note on it that said Peru claimed dibs, which a lot of the times people will put a little note that says dibs.
Oh, I did dibs on what was the last thing I did dibs on?
I mean, clearly not. You didn't leave a note.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, there were a couple baseball caps I wanted to take.
Well, God, no one's gonna take those.
Well, I know. Well, I guess too late now.
Well, you can always go back. It's not unless I take them.
Oh no, you wouldn't like that one.
What one is it?
Actually, it was like a dad core one. I think you actually would have liked it. Wait, speaking of core, which relates to assholes, which relates to porn. I was gonna tell you, last night I was watching this porn, and yesterday it clicked. I knew I was getting a haircut today, but I really wasn't sure if I was gonna re-dye my hair black, you know, for the trip. And somehow, like, it always starts at porn. Any influence. I'm influenced mostly by porn, really, because I decided to, like, I was like, oh, like, I want to watch what I started at is I screenshotted this post by Porfy Max, who I follow, Miss Porfy, and who apparently, like, I think broke up with Fitness Poppy. Poor gossip.
I don't keep up with their personal lives.
Well, so Fitness Poppy and Porfy were dating, and then they became kind of like the traditional insufferable couple posting on Instagram. But I mean, it has like an edge to it because, like, he's a porn performer. They're both porn performers, but they kept doing like reels to like viral trending songs and like of them at the gym, then like being a cute couple, like that kind of shit. Well, I noticed that Porfy had been like MIA from social media, and all his posts were like cryptically about like focusing on yourself and taking care of your mental health and like feeling down on yourself. And then I was like, okay, skip.
You're like, if it's not a shirtless look, I don't care. and then well, he's a bottom though. Like, I admire him. Like, I admire him as a bottom. Like, I don't find him. I want to. He's aspirational.
Literally, Porfy is
aspirational.
Oh, quick. That's a quick one. Aspirational. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. And so I saw that I was like, wait. Usually he's always in the video. So I go on his fucking Insta. All of the videos of them together gone.
Oh, really?
And I know because, like, it wasn't just like a couple. Like, they would collab on videos, and they do all.
Well, they had to make their ad money. They had to get the content.
Yeah.
Out there.
So then I was like, oh, they're gone. It's only Porfy. Fitness Puppy's nowhere to be found. So, like, you can put two and two together in social media terms. That means like they broke up. They're not together anymore. So I was like, Wow. So anyway, so I was scrolling through him, you know, because I was like, wait, like, I like the guys that fuck him sometimes. So I'm like, I want to see who he's been collabing with lately.
Sure.
Do you know 10-inch Top?
I don't like the videos because they're always like POV, and he never shows face.
He never shows face, but like, he doesn't always only do POV.
Well, I don't like it when they don't show face.
Yeah, well, I like it because he sounds like a Russian troll.
I'm not into that.
I know, but like, so I saw a video of that Porfy posted. It was Porfy, Michael Boston, and then this other guy, some British guy. All three like power bottoms, and he shared a photo of them three looking like sexy, and I was like, wait, like, are they topping each other? Like, what's happening? So I was like, I had to go investigate. So then I typed their three names on Google, porn, and then turns out that the three of them bottomed for 10-inch Top.
Okay.
And then I was like, wow. So it was like a whole cinematic experience. I was like, wow. It was like the, you know, the three little piggies, you know, like taking turns with Mr. 10-inch
Three little dick piggies. Title of
and then I think Aspiration was really great though.
I know, but yeah.
But it was so funny because like it's like all these three bottoms trying to maintain themselves entertained while each of them take turns on this 10-inch dick. So like
too big.
So like you know, Michael Boston is like riding him. He's like, oh yeah, daddy, and then like Porfy and Sean are just like touching their holes and just like staying like this, you know. They're like trying to stay in bottom position to like know when they're next or whatever. So it was really funny to see the dynamic of three bottoms just like on deck. Just like waiting. Like Sean would just be like ass up on the ground, just being like, yeah, like fingering himself. Then Porphy's just like literally holding himself like this. And I'm just like, wait, it's kind of fun.
I mean, that sounds like a lot of work. Just like
Which is the whole point, you know, like this, like, you know, the director or whoever it was that came up with this concept was just like, okay, and then you're gonna be on the couch, you're gonna be on the floor, and 10-inch Top is gonna be on this wheelie chair with the other guy who's like riding him. So it's like, wow, very fascinated about that.
good for them. Happy for them. Wow, I'm yawning.
Oh my god! Every time I tell a story, you yawn. It's kind of rude.
I think it's just because it's so late in the day and I already had like a full workout.
It's 3 p.m.
Is it?
Yes.
It's 4.
Wow.
It's 4. It's almost 4:20.
Put grandma to bed.
I mean, yeah, girl. It was a cardio day today, and I did weightlift. I did weightlift a little bit.
How much you lift?
I went up in weights for my arms, so I was doing a 25 pound whatever the thing is called. I don't know, the long one. And so then I went up to 30.
Wow, okay, who is she? Wait, flex for the camera, flex for the camera.
No, I won't be doing that.
Come on, flex for the camera.
No, that's cringy.
Wait, let's both flex for the camera. I mean, it's cringy when the fucking, like, masculine guys do it, not when we do it. We never do that.
Yay.
Screen grab.
This is the thumbnail.
Yeah, so
I'm not even like flexing right. Anyway, I'm wearing my Madonna shirt in honor of her 66th birthday.
Oh, it's today?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, Madge, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bitch.
Listener, townsperson.
Oh, I'm sure she is.
Oh, Madge is a townsperson.
So I don't know how to segue into my town hall.
Okay, well, I will say I haven't had any exciting sexual encounters this past week, but Nick is back on his full-on slut era. We're drinking mommy juice.
Not like full slut, but so Sunday. I didn't work on Sunday because they messed up my schedule and whatever. And so I like could have asked for my shift back, but I was like, you know what? Let me take a 3-day weekend. So I did. So I basically spent all of Sunday catching up, doing all of the like household cleaning that I've been putting off for so long. Like did some spring cleaning, cleaned my room, like organized or whatever. And this man that I've been talking to on Sniffies for a couple of weeks, I'd say like 2.5, 3 weeks, had like we'd made plans to like meet up or whatever a couple of times, but every time that we like made them, they were very loose, and we both like were going out with friends that evening, and then by the time one of us would be like getting back to their apartment, the other was still out, and it just like we ended up not meeting up. But then on Sunday, he messaged me while I was on my way to the gym, and he's like, oh, like, what are you doing today? Like, you have off? Like, any plans? And I was like, oh, I'm just going to go to the gym, and then I'm not really doing anything. And he was like, oh, maybe I can come over. And I was like, great. Except the thing with this man, he is bi, but DL. And, like, apparently nobody knows he's bi. Like, it's, like, a big old secret. And, because when
DL bi is interesting.
Like, he's, like, to everyone that he knows in his life, from what it has been made apparent to me by what he's told me, I think they all think he's straight. Like, him doing anything with dudes is just, like, quiet, whatever, on the DL. And so, anytime he would like us to hang out, he'd always have to come to my place.
Well, so sorry to interrupt, but just a quick a semantics question though, because I'm thinking, if you're DL bi, but your friends think you're straight, I think that's just DL straight. Does that make sense? Like,
I don't know,
but like, you know, like it's like, okay, like your friends think you're straight, but he's
bi on the DL. He's a bi on the DL.
I know, but that's just interesting to me. It's like, okay, like, I mean,
I never really do that. I never go for that anyway, because I'm just like the repression. I'm like, I'll just be out and proud. But he was hot, and he's like a finance bro, and like I never do that either. But like he's a little
finance, low eyes.
Oh, that like TikTok sound. But then anyway, so and he's hot, and so then anytime he'd ask me to like. There was like one night where he had his roommate gone out of town or something, and he was like, oh, you should come over, like my roommate's gonna be gone all weekend, like I can actually host you, because any other time you'd always have to come here. And so then I ended up not being able to go or whatever, but then Sunday he was like, well, maybe I can stop by like afternoon or whatever, and I said maybe, sure, like well, depends on like what I'm up to. So I deep cleaned my entire room and like the bathroom, and I was like, okay, I'm like, if I'm gonna have a man over, which I haven't
lasted long.
Wow. It really be your own sister.
It really is your little table, though. I think that's your hoarding spot. I have a hoarding spot too. It's my little 2 drawers.
Yeah, that is my little hoarding spot. I don't give a fuck. Okay, yeah. Like, you need a section that's a little bit messy. I don't care. And also my closet I need to organize, but, like, that's its own thing.
Oh, I might borrow some of your stuff. Okay, continue.
Girl, said who?
Me.
Oh.
Because we're sisters.
That'll be paperwork. That
I got you Skittles.
There's paperwork that I'll need to have you fill out.
I got you Skittles.
Some binding legal documents in case anything were to happen to those items of clothing. Because I'm a hoarder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
then anyway, so this man, so he was like, oh, maybe I can come over in the afternoon. I was like, okay, fine. And so we make plans. I was like, yeah, like maybe I thought he was gonna cancel on me last minute. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna come. And so then I like tell my roommate, I was like, girl, okay, so I'm gonna have a gentleman caller come over. And she was like, oh my god, like that's so exciting. And I was like, yeah, like I deserve it. It'll be fun. And so then he's like, oh, I'm on my way. I'm like, oh, he's actually gonna come. I was like, okay, cool.
And you tell your roommate, like, I mean, of course, like, yeah, your roommate knows your game, whatever. But like, you tell your roommate anytime you have a gentleman caller.
Well, I haven't had a gentleman caller come over since November. So like,
and did you tell your roommate then?
No, because she was out of town and it was an impromptu thing. Like it just sort of, it just happened. We were both hanging out drunk.
I used to be weird about like if you know, because I live with 3 other people, but it's like a spacious apartment, and you've been to my place, and it's really quiet. Like you hardly see anyone there, you know.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where like. I used to be like, oh no, my roommates are here, it'll be rude. And I'm just like, wait, but my 2 other roommates, like one has a boyfriend that's here, you know, who I love. And like the other one, like, I'm like, okay, like, it's my room and I can have whoever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not like yelping, you know, it's like I can be respectful. But lately I've been feeling a lot more empowered in having a guy over and like not care if like my roommate is like out or something. But let me tell you, don't care anymore. Roommate or not roommate, like if the guy's hot, you're coming over.
I typically don't care either. I just like haven't had the desire to like have someone come over. Like I usually am just gonna go over to someone else's place because it's just easier. But then I was like, you know what? Fine. I was like, he can't. I mean, he literally can't. He can't have me over, like in quotes, because
it would
get out. Yeah, it would get out. It would be bad for him apparently.
How would he explain?
How would he explain to his straight roommate
I mean,
this?
If I showed up like this, we'd be like, oh hi.
We're just here to hang out. And so he texted me that he's here because we finally exchanged numbers. I was like, it might be easier if you just want to text me instead of just messaging me on Sniffies. And he was like, yeah, sure. So then he gets here and I have to go get him. I have to go open the front door because our buzzer doesn't work. And so I open the door and I like say hi to him and I go, oh. I'm like, DL? Really? Like,
he was giving you.
I was like, girl, I can tell you got a little sugar in your tank. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
I was giving your husband.
kind of a little bit. And so like, but he was, I mean, super sweet. Whatever, he comes up, and from the way that we were communicating with each other on the app, it seemed that it was just going to be kind of a quick come over. I'll suck his dick. We'll part ways, call it a day. We also did loosely talk about like maybe, you know, doing anal if like the vibe was right. And so he comes in or whatever. It was a little awkward to begin with, but because first time meeting each other in person or whatever, and we're different personalities and whatnot. And so then I welcome him in, and when he comes in, I have like a towel and my poppers and like lube and everything just like sitting in a little pile on the bed, like very neatly, like very just like whatever. And he like saw it and like didn't say anything at first, but then he just like sits on the edge of the bed and just like wants to like have a get to know you conversation.
And you're like,
and I was like, oh. And then at one point he was like gets a little bit more comfortable and sort of like leans down on my bed and then kind of is leaning on the towel, and he goes, oh, let me move this out of the way, and then like moved it off the bed on the floor. And I went, so we're gonna get to know each other for a minute. Okay, got it. And so then we're like sitting here making small talk, and I'm like, oh god, okay, like and we're talking about where we're from, and you know, he's only been in the city for 2 years now, and he was like, how long have you been here? And like,
I hook up to like Oprah's Soulful Sunday.
No, it was literally like, and I mean, no, it was like a lovely conversation or whatever. Like, he's very sweet, but it was just not what I was expecting from the way that we were talking on Sniffies. Like, I just thought he was gonna show up and he's just gonna whip his dick out and be like, suck it, bitch, and I'd be like, yes! And And so then finally, no. So then we were sitting on the edge of my bed, and then we moved over to like I was sitting where Peru's sitting, and he was kind of sitting where I'm sitting, and then he kind of like leans and then like turns and like lays his head on the pillows, just kind of facing me like this, and we're just laying each other. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start initiating.
So he was nervous.
He was nervous, I think. So I was like, let me start initiating some physical contact. So then like when he's like talking to me, and I just like kind of grab his arm, and I'm just like this and like touching him.
You know what? I take everything back that I ever told you about making a move. Please don't ever make a move. That made me really uncomfortable.
No, he really liked that, because then he then like took his like hand and was like touching my like thigh.
Why am I hate this?
Why? That's very sweet.
I know, just any like genuine like sweet romantic gesture from you. It's jarring.
Wow. You don't see it for me?
No, I mean I see how you can turn it on, you know, like, but I just don't ever want to see that.
And that's homophobia.
Whatever. Anyway.
That's homophobia, mama.
Okay, so you guys are stroking each other's thighs.
So we're touching each other just very
This
gently.
is a romance novel for women, really.
No, it was. I really kind of fulfilled that fantasy
Bridgerton.
because get into it, girl. Because then at one point, so then we're doing that, and then all of a sudden the conversation kind of like lulls, and then we're just kind of looking at each other, and then I'm like, okay, we have to like start making out. Like, there's no other way. So like I lean in, and then he leans in, and I was like, okay, good, he got the hit, and then we start making out, and bitch, good as fuck. So we're like making out and stuff, and he is 5'7", so he was like on the shorter end, but like
you need to stop grooming the shorties.
well, he's older than me.
Oh, T.
Yeah. So, but he was shorter. But like it wasn't. I mean, honest profile said he was 5'7", so I for some reason thought he was gonna be so much shorter. But I'm 5'9", and so like it wasn't very that big of a difference.
I'm 5'6", Nick. Anytime you see me, how tall do you think I am? Oh my god, I'm
I don't
a little
know.
person to you.
No. I don't know. I don't ever like really think about height. That's like when this is a pin in the bye guy, but whenever I'm watching Pop the Balloon or Find Love, those videos, it's always like the girls when they're going down the line and they pop some guy's balloon and they're like, oh, why'd you pop his balloon? And they're like, I want someone taller. I'm always just like, really? Like, that's gonna be your deal breaker? Like, what if that was really the love of your life, and like you met the love of your life, and you were like, this man is perfect on every level. The only thing is, I'm slightly taller than him. You would really throw that all away, just because it wouldn't look good in pictures to you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess me being the short person, it's just like, as a short girly, like I do want a taller guy, but trust and believe lately, especially in sex too, like my experience with men lately has been like around my height, you know, if not maybe a couple inches taller, but you know, like when you're 5'6", 5'8" don't make that big of a difference, you know.
Yeah.
Like when you're 5'8" to 6'1", like there's a difference there for sure. When you're 5'6", you're like, oh, 5'8", sure, like the same.
See, and like height, I don't really care about. Like I've never really cared about that. Like I'm just like, do I like hanging out with you? Do I think you're?
No, for me it's like the visuals, like on the Instagram post for like the heart launch. Like I can't be like standing next to you, and you're, you know, like you gotta. Be a little bit
I don't care about that.
You know, like it needs to be a picture, a good picture.
And that's because I'm a romantic, and you're not.
No, I'm a romantic for a taller guy.
Right, there are what's the word?
Stipulations.
Yeah, stipulations. No, so anyway, so he was pretty dom. Like, so then immediately we're like making out.
They went from softy to dom.
No, because he's short, but short kings, they got it, girl. And so then we're making out or whatever, and then we're like getting undressed. It's like very kind of sensual, and like the foreplay goes on for a long time. I'm like, we're like,
Your roommate's like listening in.
and so then, and then the thing was, it's like I was gonna play music, but then I didn't have time. I didn't want to just start playing music as soon as we walked into my bedroom, because by the time he texted me, I didn't have my music or like my speaker set up.
Yeah, bad move.
I know. I kind of dropped it because he showed up sooner than I was expecting, and so then I wasn't gonna like stop or like start playing it as soon as he like walked into the room, because I'm like, oh, that's a little presumptuous, and I was like, if he doesn't want to chat. But then there wasn't a right time for me to like stop the conversation to go like stand up and turn on my speaker and everything. So anyway, it was silent besides my AC going off or whatever, but it was like good. It was fine. We weren't being that loud. But then it was very like slow and sensual, and we were like slowly taking everything off. Like we were like making out in our underwear for the longest time, just kind of like touching each other over the underwear sort of deal. And then at one point he was like, should I pull it out? And I was like, yeah, pull it out. And when he pulled it out, I literally was like, ah! It was so pretty, but also like way bigger than the pictures led me to believe.
I want to see it. You never showed him to me.
Did I not?
No.
Oh, I'll have to show you his picture. He's cute. And so then I literally saw that, and I like literally could not stop touching it. I literally just like put my hand on it and just like held it when we were like making out. I was just like holding on to it like a kid with the leash, like when they have like those little rings that they have all the kids in whatever, when they go out on a little excursion on the sidewalk. I was just holding on to it like that the whole time. I was like, I'm not gonna let go. And then he then started doing this thing where, because at this point we were fully naked, and he like had me, like he lifted my legs around his waist or whatever, and then he was like grinding into me, like dry humping me or whatever, but he was like going at it like he was fucking a pussy, like he was fucking a girl, like, you know what I mean, like if like he was like rubbing his dick on me, and like as if he was like, I don't know how to describe it,
but guys rub their dicks in your hole all the time, you know.
No, but it wasn't on my hole, it was like on my like front.
Your penis?
Like not on my penis, like he was kind of like using like
gooch?
he was kind of using like the like fold of like my thigh and like my pelvis, as if he was like
he was like here, like he was like,
yeah, like his dick was in there, and he would like kind of like go like as if he was like kind of like fucking a pussy, and I was like, wait,
I guess you were just like already in your head, you're like, wait, he's bi, he fucks puss.
kind of. And then I was just kind of like, oh, interesting. And then the way that oh my god, he had so much mobility in his hips, which the last couple of sexual partners that I've had weren't laying it down like that. And so then at one point I'm like sucking his dick, it was good, he was like obsessed with it, he was like, oh my god, you're so good at that, and I was like, I know. And then we're like making out more, we're rolling around on my bed, and then finally he was like, can we please fuck? He's like, please. He's like, do you want to? Because I really want to. And I was like, yeah, I know. So then I like went and got my condoms.
You did prep. Oh yeah, he wanted to use condoms.
Oh yeah, he wanted to use a condom. Well, I didn't even ask. I just kind of figured, because like
for bi culture,
for a bi guy,
for bi and straight guys.
I'm like, okay. I was like,
they're scared of us.
Oh, I'm sure. And so then I was like, don't worry, babe, I got a whole box of Trojans. And so then I was like, I'll grab the condom, and I also.
Which honestly, like, that is also like, see, there is a world in which like I see and I understand like DL guys or straight guys or bi guys being, you know, scared about fucking raw, you know, like, or fucking bareback. But it's also like,
well, they probably don't with women.
What?
Well,
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not that careful with women because it's usually on the women's end to take care of like birth control or anything else, and that like they're not as careful.
Well,
like,
and also I feel like a lot of straight people, at least the straight people that I know that I'm friends with, the guys that and these are women that I'm friends with that are having sex with the straight men. The straight men don't ever really consider STIs when it comes to having sex. Like, they're really they're only considering birth control.
And then STI, it's like we carry the stigma of like, well, I don't want to get an STI from like if I'm fucking a gay dude. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, our community has been much smarter and savvier about keeping ourselves, you know, like tested and clean and safe.
Yeah.
For the most part. Again, not shaming. If you're a townsperson listening right now, we've repeated this time and time again. It's never too late to get on it. Go get tested for HIV. Go get tested for STIs. Find a support buddy. Do it. Because you'll be happy about yourself.
Well, and also just get regularly tested anyway. If
Every
you're
3
having
months
sex.
is, you know, what I do. If you're not having sex that often, you know, whatever works for you.
I mean, if you're not having sex, period, girl, then you don't really need to get tested.
But I mean, still, you know, it's nice. It's
I mean,
whatever.
it's
but
good
like,
to know. It's
so
good to know.
It's interesting, you know, the dynamic of like, oh, you know, I was talking to some guy on Grindr being like, safe only, condom only, like I'm DL, and I was just like, okay, well, I prefer raw. And I'm on prep and I have all these things. I'm like, cool, sorry.
Wow.
Yeah, I condition them.
Wow.
I'm like, if he wants me that bad.
Well, then I guess he doesn't.
I guess he doesn't.
So then anyways, so then I got the lube too, and then I got my poppers, obviously, because I needed, because his dick was big. And so then he was like, how do you want to start? And I said, I'm gonna have to ride you. And he said, okay, great. And mama, I was tight, and I had prepped before I had douched, and then I was also using my anal training kit in the shower because I needed to stretch. And so I was pretty stretched out already, but I was still, as soon as like I started kind of like slowly lowering, he was like, you're so, like, he was so shocked by how tight I was. He was like, you're so tight. And I was like, yeah.
Tighter than a puss.
I was like, yeah. I was like, this pussy grabs back. I've been saying that a lot this week.
I know, we're very Hillary coded.
Well, it's another election season.
I know, exactly.
But so then whatever, and then I took a hit of the poppers, and then we started having sex. Oh, bitch, it was so Good. And then he really liked fucking me in missionary. Like so I started writing. We only did that for a little bit, and then he was kind of like just laying down flat, and I was whatever to start, and then he like sat up and was like holding me around my waist, and we were like, oh, and then we were kind of doing that, and then he flipped me around to get on my back. We didn't do doggy at all. He like wanted to do missionary the whole time, which I'm fine with. And so then we were like making out doing missionary, and then he kept being like, you're taking it so well. Like he just was like words of affirmation.
Proud of you.
No, and it was like that, and I was really into that, and I was like, yeah. I was like, yes, sir. Anything. I was like, yeah, just use that whole sir. Like, it's yours, sir. Like, whatever. And he was like, yeah. He's like, yeah. And then he just kept telling me how hot and sexy I was, and I was like, wait, stop. And then
you actually stopped. You're like, wait.
No, I really don't. No, like there's a moment I was like, stop. Do you have a crush on me? No, I'm kidding. I didn't do that. But
you're not kidding.
No, but I thought that.
You're not kidding.
I thought that, and then
No, because cut to foreshadowing, like when we were fucking like at your office, and you were like, he hasn't texted me yet. I'm like, you were infatuated, bitch.
Well, because
you were planning the date.
The sex was good. No, I haven't planned no date, but I certainly want him to come back. And so then he fucked me until he came. And he was like, I have to come. He's like, I'm gonna come. He came so much because when he pulled out, girl, that condom filled that shit. It was like hanging off his dick. And then he stayed for like another like 30 minutes, and we just sat in bed and like cuddled and talked. It was like very nice, very sweet. And then he was like, he's like, what time is it? And then he was like, I have to be up early for work tomorrow. He's like, so I should probably head out. And I said, oh yeah, no worries. And then we got dressed, and then said bye or whatever. And he was like, I said, you should come back another time. Like, thanks for coming over. Like, had a really fun time. Like, let's do it again. He's like, yeah, no, definitely. And so then he didn't. I said, okay, well, like, bye, whatever. He leaves. Get it, bye. That was really dumb, and I'm glad that you laughed really hard at that.
See, it's your dumb jokes that I like, not your written ones.
But those ones are so witty and thought through.
But
wow. You only like when you feel smarter than me. I see. But then he didn't.
That could be the title of the episode. Bye. B.I. Bye.
No, it's a boring title.
I think it's good. I guess in the context of this, people would be like, "Oh, that's why it's the title of the episode, because it was so funny." Oh no, what do they do?
He works in finance.
Oh, you said finance. Right.
He's a finance bro.
But I mean, like he lives around here then? Like
no, he lives in Manhattan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Because he came into Brooklyn for you?
Oh, girl, because the reason, so I came across him when I went, I'm not going to say what neighborhood that he lives in, but he lives in kind of like a little bit below Midtown. But I like
Chelsea.
I had met up with a friend to like get dinner and in his neighborhood, and we had to find a spot because she lives in Queens, and so we were like, let's meet halfway for the both of us. So we met in between in Manhattan, and while I was at dinner, I like checked sniffies or whatever before she showed up, and he like hit me up, and he seemed to be really into it, and then every single time we made plans like to hang out, I was kind of the one that flaked or like kind of stopped responding because like I was doing other things, I was hanging out with other people, and I was just like, it's not my first priority or whatever. But he was really about it. Like I thought for sure after this third time that I sort of like low-key flaked on him, that he would just give up and like stop, but then he hit me up again, and then I was like, oh, so he hit it and now he's never gonna hit me up again. But then I texted him like later that night on Sunday. I was like, thanks again. I was like, I just reiterated, I was like, oh, like hope you made it back okay. Again, had a good time. Let's do it again. And then he responded and he was like, yeah, I would love to. And then didn't text for a couple of days, and then on Wednesday
you were crying.
No, I was like totally fine about it. I texted him on Tuesday. I was just like, because I wanted to see if he wanted to hang out this weekend, like to fuck, because girl, I've been really horny. Like I'm horny, but like I know exactly what it is that I want to get. Yeah. And it's like he laid it down the way that I wanted to get it. You know what I mean? And so then I texted him on Wednesday, and then we have been chit-chatting back and forth for the past couple of days. And then he asked if I was free either today, which is Friday, the day of the recording this, or Saturday. And then he was like, maybe we should meet up earlier in the day so we can do multiple rounds. And I was like, yes, I would love.
So as you're watching this, visual learners and listening townspeople, there is a chance that by the time you're listening or watching this, Nick did get pounded out again.
Multiple times.
And we will be talking about it.
For sure.
Again.
Well, he may or may not be coming over later tonight.
Yeah. Well, that kind of reminds me of the whole, like, flaky... I mean, in a sense, the only one time I had sex this week was with the guy who came back into town, the one from last episode who told me he had to leave by 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, so we were going back and forth, but, like... it was a spur of the moment a couple days ago in which it was like right before I had to go to work. I was like, hey, are you around? You know, and he was like, yeah, babe, like I need to spread your hole open. And I was like, oh my God. And it ended up working out. And
see, looking at his profile, I would not get that he'd be the kind of guy that's like, I want to spread your hole.
I know, but I mean, like, the thing is, like, it's the same thing. Like, some of these guys who are like so cute and like so soft and like so, you know, like charming and friendly, and then like when they take off their clothes and they're freaks, you know, like this guy is like. And, like, the photos he takes, too, and the photos and videos he sends, like, are on a different, like, they're on a dumb level, whereas he presents on Instagram differently, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I think that's also kind of sexy. Like,
no, I do like that.
I find it very hot just knowing that, like, oh, there's this part of you that, like, only I get to see. Or, like, somebody who's in a sexual, you know? And that's why, like, I when it comes to mask for mask or... mask people just liking masculine guys, obviously the general consensus is these are people who have internalized homophobia and they're scared to be their true selves for fear of being called feminine or being called, you know, I guess more queer presenting, I guess. But let me tell you, all of you mask for mask or will only do fit athletic masculine, you're missing out on some good fucking tops. Because let me tell you, the best sex I've had has never been with a masculine guy.
It's been with a blouse.
And let me tell you, even beyond blouse, it's just like, I'm not saying like sex with like any like fit guys has been like, it's sexy because like they're good looking. So like it's hot, it's sexy, you know, whatever. But the kind of people who you feel so comfortable with and like really lay it out, and then you have like a great conversation with, and like there is a different kind of like aura, you know, and you all are missing out. Like, you're fucking missing out.
No, for sure. Well, because then that goes into, I had sex again then on Tuesday with the guy that I talked about last week, kind of briefly, who I like is married. I went over to his apartment, and he's very rich, and we had a lovely time together, and the sex was really good, and he laid it down. He had hit me up earlier in the weekend and was like, my schedule is pretty open this week. I'll be like working from home a lot. If like you want to come over one day before work for like a little afternoon session, I was like, sure. I was like, the sex was really good. So I went over on Tuesday, and he is like a very like, if just upon meeting him, if you were to meet him on the street, very kind of like butch queen, like gay person, like just.
That's not how you described him to me.
No, but like in the bedroom, he's like very dom, like.
Oh. So have you interacted that much with him outside of just going to his place?
I mean, just the way that he generally carries himself is very just kind of like like he's like an older man, and he's like, he looks masculine, but he acts very like feminine.
Yeah,
like he's like not like trying to like put on a air of like, oh look, I'm trying to like pass as straight, like as a lot of these, you know, a lot of gay men try to do. He's just like very kind of like queenie and like was like girl and like diva, like whatever. And then when we're having sex, it's like, like daddy, like dom spanking, like I want to hit it from the back, pound you out, like whatever.
Would I hit it from the back?
Well, he like literally. So the thing is like when the sex that I had with him the second time, the first time that I had sex with him, really, really good. Like I had a lovely time. It was great. Called it. And I think the sex on Tuesday just went on for too long because like I came really early. Like he jerked me off and then until I came, like, and I was there for maybe like 2 hours in total.
2 hours?
I got there at like 1.
No.
I got there at like 1:15.
No.
I didn't leave until 3. And yeah, we chatted a little bit before we got to anything, and then we chatted. We like took breaks in between to like chit chat and stuff, and like, you know, like we get along fairly well. Like I think, you know, very friendly vibes, but he just like wanted to keep going, and like he just like couldn't come for like the longest time, and he really likes doggy, and so he was just like hitting it from the back doggy. And mind you, I already came, so like I'm not really getting much out of it. Like, yeah, like It does feel good to a certain extent, but then once you pass a certain threshold, my hole's tired. Like, there's only so much of it that I can take before I'm just like, okay, like, maybe we just pack it up and call it a day. But he was just, like, pounding it out from the back, and he's just like, sorry. He's like, sorry, I'm just, like, so close, I'm so close, I'm so close. And I'm like, okay, then, like, okay, like, yeah. And then he's like, okay, I need to take a break. And I'm like, girl. And then we take a break for, like, 10 minutes, and then, like, go back to it, and then I'm like, my hole hurts. I was like, okay, we have to stop. And then we did. But when we were having sex, when I was, like, riding him, he was, like, jerking me off, and he looked at my dick, and he was like, you know, you have, like, the perfect dick for topping.
Oh, what is up with these guys saying these things to us?
I know. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. He goes, like, it curves upward. He was like, that's gonna hit, like, the prostate. And I was like, oh. And then I informed him that I've only ever done it once. And then I told him that story while he was inside of me. And then I was like, I've tried other times.
Anyway, yeah.
That was literally it. I was like, oh my god. I was literally, like, leaning back, being like, going like, yeah, like, I've done it once, but, like, it was, like, kind of like this impromptu thing or whatever. It was so silly. But then he was like, have you tried since? And I go, yeah, but I can never, you know, stay hard enough, like, for it to go in. I was like, because I think I just get too much into my head. And then we were talking about how he's only ever bottomed twice in his life. And he's like, I don't get anything out of it. He's like, it's kind of like, I can see, it's kind of hot to get used. He's like, I kind of find that, like, sexy. He's like, but it doesn't do anything for me. And I'm like, see, and that's how I felt about topping, where it's like, oh, like, when I finished, I was still horny afterwards.
Yeah, like, what really gets you off is getting penetrated. It's like, it's okay, like, when you're, like, done, you're like, it doesn't scratch the same edge.
Yeah, it didn't fully satisfy me in the way that I needed it to.
I know. Well, now I'm looking forward to, I'm going to PTown. Well, I guess this also leads into the PTown stuff, because
oh, sunglasses back on.
Because this is my PTown vibe. I definitely want to have a fun time. I'm gonna be going there for the full week this time, because I was there only for 5 days last time, but this time we're gonna be there for a full 7 days, and I'm really looking forward to it. I do want to make sure that I make time for myself, and that I make time for not going crazy every night, because I guess if I could change one thing from last time, is that I went so hard every night that when I came back, it really felt like I hadn't gotten any rest, and even though everything was very fun, like, I came back and, oh my god, like, it was so funny because when Tommy, who's a friend of the pod, he sent up because he took the ferry back a few days earlier than me. Like, he left like halfway through, and he sent a photo of Amanda Lepore taking the ferry back from Cape Town, from Cape into Boston, and Amanda Lepore was really like off duty. Like, she had like a scarf or like a baseball cap around her head, like, still like lips fully done, but like that was it, you know. Everything else was just off duty, and I truly felt like Amanda Lepore on that ferry. Bitch, when I took that ferry back into Boston, even waking up, like, I was still kind of drunk when I woke up, I think, and like taking the ferry, and it started raining on the way back to Boston, and it's like an hour and 30 minutes back into Boston. And like, I remember, like, I probably was that person that, like, I sat next to two like lovely gentlemen. It's like communal seating, basically, with like a table, kind of like a cafeteria kind of style, you know. But I sat down, and I could tell, like, they looked at me, and they were like, oh, like, this kid, you know, like, has been partying all fucking week. And I was like, yes, it's me. I'm probably like still reeked of booze, and like, I'm just like, literally, I got myself a coffee, and like, I put my coffee down, and then I like try to fall asleep, like, in, you know, at school when you sleep on your desk, you know. You're like,
I actually
like
never
this.
fell asleep at school because I was a good student.
No, I'm saying, like, when like there's nothing else to do and the bell hasn't rung yet. You know, you can't talk. Everyone's taking their test.
I was always excited. I was always paying attention. I never took a nap.
Well, I wasn't a nerd, and I still was top 10. So sorry about it.
What's wrong with being a nerd?
Well, a lot.
No.
No.
You just offended a whole community of people.
No, I love my
done.
people.
You're done.
Anyway, and so I remember, like, I was like, oh my god, I'm exhausted. I'm pooped. Like, I'm so tired. I'm pooped. And then, like, I'm back in town, and then I had to work the next day right away, and I worked the full week, and I was tired. Like, I didn't feel rested. So this time, I want to make sure that at least a few of those nights, like, I'm not going hard. Have like a night in, you know, to just, and also I'm recording Michelle's pod. She asked me to, and I'm bringing my recording material like last year, and like, I want to make sure that I also utilize this vacation to serve me, you know? I'm so happy to be with the girls and town council members, and like it's just I could not ask for like better people to go with, and I love them. But I also want to like make sure that I this time put myself in a position where like I can serve them better by like being more present and not being hungover all the time and like not, you know.
Sure.
So I'm trying to do that. I also want to get some writing done while I'm there. I really want to just like take this vacation as an actual vacation, you know. It's like I want to go out, go hard, go party, but I also want to take a couple of days to just be like chill, you know. Like let me just like wake up, like have a little breakfast and like do some writing and like people watch and like listen to people like Alex was to take a bath. Every time I tell a story, you yawn, and it's so annoying.
I'm sorry.
It's starting to really bug me.
I'm not doing it on purpose.
I know, but like every time I tell a story, you start yawning, and like it really grinds my gears.
I'm not
like as my sister. I'm like I understand you're not doing it on purpose.
It's just my body.
Your eyes are getting teary-eyed, but like it drives me insane.
That's why I'm trying to keep it cute. I'm trying to hide it.
You can't hide it because you yawn so big that like your body makes your eyes water, and so you start tearing up. They're doing it again.
I'm not.
Listen, I understand it's your body reaction, but like I hate it when you yawn.
I don't know how to. I can't tell you what to do. I can't do anything about it.
Maybe it comes from childhood too, because like as being at church or like being with my mom or anything, like it was like the biggest sign of disrespect, like to yawn while someone's telling you a story.
Right, yeah. I would get in trouble at school when I would yawn during church.
And mind you, my mom now, like, just like, I mean, well, she's also like, she's in her 60s now. She doesn't give a fuck. You know, she yells at anybody. She yells at everybody. She like yells at Cassie. Like, you know, like, oh, whatever. Like, she's just being my mom. But like, it really comes from a place of, you know, like, every time I have an inkling to yawn in front of somebody who's telling me a story, like, I really do my best to just like swallow it or like cover it, because I just think it's rude.
Oh, so you're critiquing me now?
Well, I flat out just judged you.
Wow. I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to hide it. Do you not see me covering my mouth?
No, yeah, I know, but it's just whatever. It just always happens when I'm talking. It never happens when you're talking. You don't make yourself yawn. You know what I mean? Like, well, every time I talk, you're just like yawning.
And it's like, that's not anything about you. People,
exactly, but that's how I'm perceiving it.
No, but you shouldn't perceive it like that.
I shouldn't, and maybe I should just get over the fact that you just yawn when I talk. So I guess
listen. I don't.
It's also always when we're recording. It's never when we're talking just the two of us in person. Like when we're talking and like you know downstairs, whatever. Like every time we're talking just between the two of us, we never yawn. It's always when we're recording.
What do you think that is?
I don't know.
Oh, it's because we're in my bed.
Or maybe because like you have just talked, so your body's just like, and we're done.
Maybe.
Also
went to the gym today.
Maybe you shouldn't go to the gym before recording.
Maybe
Wow.
because I'm in bed and so I think it's sleepy time. And my body's just like, wait, lay down, bitch.
Should we do like a setup like
I've also been drinking.
Well, I guess for you, yeah, it does hit you differently. You're probably like on the road to drunk.
I don't know. I'd have to stand up to see.
True.
Well, I wasn't trying to offend.
It's okay. We just, I had a genuine reaction right now, townspeople. This is how it is when sometimes like Nick and I are having moments together, and I have to be honest and I have to say like I didn't like it, but it's just something I keep noticing. But I understand it's just your body doing what your body does, and like I can't help that. But I needed to express how it made me feel bad every time that that it happens.
Right.
And I'm just trying to be honest in this forum, and I felt like I needed to say it. And now that I've said it, I can actually process and understand that there is other elements to that. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like, no. It wasn't me coming for you. It's just like something I've been thinking about it for a few weeks now, and like I just had to say it.
Okay, yeah.
So I hope that you're not upset at me saying that.
No, I'm not upset at you at all. Because I know
I'm waiting for my apology.
And I apologize. That was not my intention.
Thank you.
But I know how your brain works because you're my sister, and I've seen it in action multiple times, and so I know how sometimes the reactions to things at first tend to be a little like, you hate me, sort of thing. But then it's never that. It's always we open space for nuance. and we discuss and we move past it because it's never personal.
It's not personal. It's drag. Anyway, wow, the mood changed. Anyway, townspeople, thank you for being there for that visual learner.
They're like, oh god.
Any psychologist who's a visual learner who could see like our body language through that conversation, please comment down below what the analysis was. Is Nick being truthful? He just looked at his nails too. Like, stop! Like, you're just so disinterested in talking to me. But whatever. You know what? Sunglasses on. My sunnies are on.
You literally have your sunglasses on the whole episode. Disinterested in talking. Okay.
See, look at me being real. I'm like Miranda Priestley when she takes her sunglasses off.
I'm so excited to read the comments on this one this week.
Well, the comments this week, either they're gonna hate me for jumping at your throat, or they're gonna be like, yeah, I've noticed that too. Nick keeps yawning. Listen, maybe this will be like, like in, like sibling rivalry when, it's Bug and Drag Queen and Monet exchange. Love you all so much.
Because they're listening.
Miss Bob and Miss Monet. But they also have like their subdivisions in their fucking thing. There's like Monation and there's the bobbleheads. So maybe the townspeople need to start. You townspeople need to start congregating and figuring out what you want to call. If you're Team Peru or Team Nick, not against the other, but I'm just saying like if you are, of the camp.
That'll be the poll for this week.
No, that won't be the poll because that would be stupid. But if you want to be a part of the town in which it's just like, oh, like here's where like we can talk about like how Peru was right, and then if there's
I love how we just assume that it's because you're right,
and then there's another part of the town in which you're like, oh my god, like oh that Peru, like Nick is our true diva.
Yeah, poor Nick victim.
Like poor Nick victim. So what the victims? The victims are gonna be the Nick townspeople.
The Nicktoms.
The Nicktoms. Dead. Great. The Nicktoms. Welcome to a new category of pioneers and trailblazers. Townspeople is everyone, but the Nicktoms.
And what are the the
Perudes?
Yeah, Peru.
Look at the Perudes. If you're Perude,
make some
rise
noise.
up, make some noise. And if you're a Nicktom, see that brought out some joy and something fun.
Yeah.
And I want that to stick. That's fun. The Perudes and the Nicktoms.
Mm-hmm.
The town, but everyone in the town is important to us and valuable.
Well, everyone's a townsperson.
Everyone's a townsperson. Anyway, to finish my really genuine story about PTown, I really do want to be able to focus on myself too, and be able to like say like, oh, I want to rest tonight. I want to do that. But that being said, I want to get blown out, and I want my back to ache from all the dick that's gonna pound my ass. And
oh my god,
this leads into the final topic that relates to the next episode. Now, next episode is famously episode 52, and it's our season finale, y'all.
This is our penultimate episode.
This is our penultimate as Nick holds in his yawn for dear life.
I swallowed it. Sometimes, and that's sisterhood. The feedback from the mics being biting each other. You okay, girl?
Thank you for yawning. You're swallowing your yawn.
You're welcome.
So 52. That means for a complete townspeople, a full year, we have done this without a break. Because even the 1 week we took off for Christmas, we gave y'all the link to our New York Comedy Festival show. So technically, we have not had a single break. That's pretty impressive. 52 episodes in our first season. Can you believe that?
That's a lot.
It's crazy.
We did a lot.
So, and I feel like it's starting to also like, we are starting to feel it too. We're like, okay, like, let's refuel, let's recharge. Yeah. But because I'll be in PTown next week, we won't be able to record an episode. And so I was like, fuck, like it would be a disservice to like batch 2 episodes and just release something, or like, but I was like, how about we wait until I'm back from PTown? One of the Perudes, one of the Perudes in the town hit me up on my Insta, and we're just like, I'm really hoping that the next episode is going to be like a round 2 of PTown. And I think it will be fun to like have some time away and like come back, and like I really thought it would be cool to like to record in the same setting that we recorded our first episode. I thought it would be cool. and see if we can do like our same outfit.
Oh, on the couch. The echo might be a problem.
The echo be a problem, or like we can just do it here, but like wear the same clothes we wore the first episode.
That's
That'd be kind of fun, just to like circle all back. And then I have plenty of stories from PTown. I'm sure we're staying at the. Well, I guess I can say this because by the time this comes out, oh no, I'll be there.
Yeah, you'll be there.
Wait, should I say where I'm gonna be staying?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'll be really close to the TikTok. So I'll definitely we're going with somebody.
So if you recognize, say hey.
Yeah, and this is what I'm gonna be wearing literally. So if I'm at the Dig Dug with my Celines and my double white T-shirts, please spot me and blow me out. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited to have that be our last like wrap around and see like maybe we can listen to the episode and have any reflections maybe that we have from like our very first episode to our very last of this season. I want to re-listen to our first episode and see how much we've grown.
We haven't.
You haven't.
But then that being said, so the episode for the following week is going to come out a couple of days late.
Yeah, we literally don't know, and we're being honest. I return on Saturday/Sunday early morning. I have to jump back into work. He works on Monday. So we're trying to figure out when we can record, and then we'll turn it around as quickly as we can. So, just hang tight. We'll keep you abreast on social media. It may be like Thursday.
We'll see.
Or Friday, but we'll
see.
announce, and just know it will drop just very late.
Do you have a pioneer for the week?
Wait, I'm not done yet.
Oh.
So after that...
Oh, there's more.
There's more. When we record, we'll let you guys know exactly how long we're going to be going on break for. It's something Nick and I have talked about. We're going to have a serious conversation after this and just kind of like really assess how we want to roll this out and how to do this. But I think doing this a full year has given us a lot of context on like the amount of work this takes, and in order to continue growing, we keep asking you guys not to bother anybody, but I feel like for a year we've gone so far, but we can only continue doing this if we think that there's more room for growth, and that's why we need all of your help during this time. By the way, again, those micro capsule episodes at Pioneers and Trailblazers on Instagram, on YouTube, pioneersandtrailblazers@gmail.com. Submit any town halls, shout outs, or things you want us to talk about, because it'll be nice to have to discuss.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back, and in the next episode we'll tell you when we'll come back, how that'll look like. Keep subscribing, Spotify review, Apple Podcasts review, because those things are really going to make a difference in us like turning this into, something, because I would like to.
Yeah.
It's been so fun doing this together, sister.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I could do another season with you.
Well, yes. I agree.
Any thoughts on that?
I agree. I concur. Do you have a pioneer?
You're such a bitch.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not the one that has places to be.
I mean, I'm already gonna be late. My pioneer, it's very lame, but it truly is this like PTown vacation with town council members Alex and Robert and John. Spencer's in Chicago. Love you, Chicago.
Love you,
Spencer. Mwah, 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 mwah.
We miss you.
And Zach's first time coming, but like I really am gonna be so grateful the entire time because I am burned out.
Yeah.
So my vacation is absolutely my colonizador.
What does that mean?
My pioneer.
Oh,
you just learned this word literally an hour ago. You already forgot. You're not listening to me.
I am listening, but it was a lot of new information. Thank you.
Overstimulation.
Yes, I'm overstimulated, and I also really only know English and not that well.
Anyway, gracias.
I know that one.
Hilaria Baldwin.
Oh, hello. Hold on. Okay. And then my trailblazer for the week is gonna be the television series Smash. Because it got added to Peacock not too long ago, and I watched it when it aired in 2012, 2013 when it first came out. And if you haven't seen, it's about the making of a Broadway musical, a Marilyn Monroe Broadway musical with like the likes of Angelica Houston, Trump supporter Catherine McPhee,
Love.
Broadway legend Megan Hilty, Zionist queen Deborah Messing.
Love. I think she's toned it down though a little bit.
She has not. I double checked her Instagram.
Oh really?
Mhm.
Did you see James Charles's thing?
Girl, we can't get into that.
Diva. No, let's get into it. No, first of all, let me say I read about it on X, but I did not. I have not checked it out. I have not looked at the video, but
I have seen the video.
Oh, of course you have.
It came up on my timeline and I saw it, and like there was really no escaping it. And I just feel.
Is it her?
Yeah, her face is in it.
Okay.
It's her. And I just, at this point, like, listen, say what you will about James Charles. Like, yes, has had a history of maybe having inappropriate relationships with boys who are, you know,
with 16-year-olds.
16-year-olds or whatever. But I also do feel like, again, I don't know what the situation is with this one video, but like it does seem that a lot of people are constantly just like on the lookout of any moment for him to mess up so they can all publicly ridicule him. Like it doesn't matter what it is that he does. And like I get it. He has a past that is not great and like whatever, and like that doesn't absolve you from whatever. But I do think culturally people do, and again, I think it's because he is an effeminate gay man. Yeah. And he is femmy and he wears makeup and
they want to shit on him.
They want to shit on him because I think there's a lot of internalized homophobia, femphobia, all these kinds of things. And like, yes, again, like two things can be true at the same time. He can have done bad things, but he can also deserve to not have his nude videos of him like full face being shown as like him in a private moment with somebody. Like,
well, yeah, because that was the context. Like, he was doing he was on webcam with somebody.
He was on FaceTime, and the person was screen recording.
Yeah, but like he was on FaceTime showing somebody else him having sex with somebody.
No, it was a FaceTime video of him FaceTiming some guy who was jerking off, and then he was showing his ass, but then it like cuts to him also jerking off too.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, and again, like either. So somebody screen recorded that. So and like either
it's already you're not two consulting parties.
Yeah, and whether or not it was under either party's knowledge, depending on I don't know who recorded, if it was James Charles or the other person, but a lot of the times from what I've seen online is a lot of, especially like these younger like early 20s gay people who like
contemporaries
who are prominent on social media or like are looking for kind of like a viral moment will always sort of like kind of flirt with him and like get it to a point where they can get a viral screenshot and then like expose him sort of thing. And it does feel a little bit at this point of like, okay, we get it. Like he like you think he's weird, you think he's gross, like okay, cool, like what else are you adding to the conversation? You're also like again, you're
like your Gabrielle Union quote, really. It's just
like did you get the guy? Did you get the guy? Did money automatically get put in your bank account? Like you're not really doing much. Like he's already had to
deal with that himself.
He's already dealt with all of these multiple cancellations that he's had, like all of these things that have happened to him, and it's like to continue this on, it's like okay, I don't know what else you want everyone else to do. It's like we get it, he's a bad person, like, but also it doesn't give you the right to, you know, breach his privacy.
Yeah, and honestly, like as the shittiest person on earth, you know, like I'm just saying, like I can't like whatever has happened, you know, we are very lucky that like, you know, in our teens, like none of our like stupid remarks and shit has been, you know, aired out and like recorded or like completely like dissected. You know, it is crazy. Like that one, even on the political scape, you know, like people that deserve to be ridiculed are the ones who are like fighting against us. Like JD Vance is fucking like dressed as a girl, like photos of him doing quote unquote drag. That photo of him in the men's bathroom with like 3 girls like standing at a stall pretending like they're peeing. You know, like have you seen all those photos of him in high school?
I didn't see that one, but I saw the videos of him.
And I'm just like, see, these are people who are like fighting against. These are evil people that are doing stupid, horrible things towards others and like trying to like take away rights. Those people deserve to be ridiculed. In my heart of hearts, I cannot ever say that for whatever cancellation and mistake that James Charles has done, I don't think anybody deserves that kind of vitriol. Because at the end of the day, I don't believe James Charles is an evil person. I think he's just made a lot of mistakes.
Well, and also because he got so famous so young.
Yes, and imagine
and the whole, and you have to also remember that he probably had so many adults around him that were trying to profit off of him.
Of course,
and we're like
that one chick.
Yeah, and so it's like, and like the people that he had around him, you know, I'm sure we're just like, okay, like keep posting, keep like being, you're a public figure, like all these things, and like there's so much that you learn just by living your life, and
as a young person,
and then but to have, and so everybody makes mistakes every single day. Like it doesn't matter who you are not a perfect person.
Yeah, Nick made the mistake to Yawngate on the podcast today.
Right, of course, and we're listening and learning. Thank you very much. But the same thing is like, when your job is to have your whole life be recorded and posted online, you sort of lose the opportunity to make mistakes, because people will always have that video, photo, evidence that you fucked up.
Yeah.
And if they don't like you,
they'll remind you. And thousands of people.
And it's like, you're feeling yourself. Like, that's why I feel, listen, I'm not a James Charles fan. Like, I'm not out here being a stan. Like, I support him, like whatever. I'm very neutral.
Yeah, but I also believe he's a person.
Yeah, and I think it's important to recognize people, and I think also it's like you have to give people the opportunity and the chance to grow, learn, and change. And by constantly bringing up things that have been done in the past that have already been resolved, things that have already sort of been, you know, we've moved on from.
You're part of the problem. You're bullying.
I guess, but then also it's getting to the conversation of what are you gaining from that? You're then saying that you don't believe people can change and grow, because what if the tables were turned on you? What if you did something that you didn't necessarily, when you were young, something that you did that was maybe not the best, sort of stupid, dumb, and it was posted online, went viral, and now everyone's using that against you? Would you want to be given would you want to be given grace?
Of course.
Do you think that, or would you want to constantly have every single mistake you've ever made thrown back to you in your face?
And these are also people, and to wrap it up, I mean, these are also like very like self-righteous people who are progressive, who are fighting the good fight, who are trying to call out bad behavior, trying to these are the same people who, like, blankly, they're asked in the street if you believe in prison reform. They'll be the ones like, absolutely, you know, like, yeah, people deserve a second chance. Like, people with like low offenses or like low crime, whatever, people prison reform. I'm like, oh, you're the one who's going online and literally shitting on somebody for making a mistake. Like,
well, you're acting like a cop.
You're acting like a cop. You're acting like a fucking prosecutor, and you're not giving people that reform that you so speak for others, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, if you think about that, think about those people in jail that you think are incarcerated for a long amount of time for something that was like just a mistake or whatever, you know? Like, think of those next time you want to hate on somebody for making a mistake.
But it also depends on what they did too.
Of course, like, with everybody.
And
I also saw, you know, like recently this year, that one guy who at 12 and with his brother who was 13 killed their dad.
Oh, wait, who was that?
What was it was the King brothers, and one of them died this year for a drug overdose. Like, he struggled with drugs his entire life after the whole case and whatever. And like, it's people like this who, like, listen, you're 12, 13, you kill your dad because it was this whole thing, you know, it's a whole case where, like, they killed their dad and they beat him to death with a baseball bat. And then you're 13, your brain is not even remotely close to being fully developed. Yeah. You're clearly ill. You have issues. Like, no one was there to really support you and give you the help that you needed. Then he served a fucking fucked up prison sentence, went off without any help from society or the government to just go on and try to have a normal life, and then just became this, like, fucking fucked up dude who just, like, was in and out of fucking, like, jail, and then, you know, having to live with the fact that he killed his dad and then became a drug addict, and then guess what, just died of a fucking drug complication this year. And that makes me so sad, because there was a point in time in which somebody who committed such a crazy thing and bad thing in their life, there could have been a turning point for this fucking kid,
like Gypsy Rose.
For Gypsy Rose, you know, it's like there is a turning point depending on what it happened in the context of which you came from in your past. Like, you think you fell out of a coconut tree? You think you fell out of a coconut tree? You did it.
Let's take a deep breath.
Oh, within the context of what came before us, and Miss Mamala is right. You know, like we're all an amalgamation of our past mistakes, and that's what made us who we are.
Well, yeah, you learn from it.
You learn from
you're
it.
constant. You're constantly
Yeah,
learning
and
every
sharing
day.
fucking like James Charles's video of him jerking off without his consent, it's not gonna help him.
But also just like
it's only gonna make him feel worse. And Lord knows how he's feeling right now. And I hope that he has the resources and good friendship and family around him that can help him navigate through this, because you know, like, that invasion of privacy has to feel
also revenge.
awful.
It's revenge porn.
It's revenge porn, and you know, like, whatever. And I jokingly talk about that on the podcast all the time. Like, you know, when my nudes leak, or like my videos of me sucking dick, or like fucking like showing spreading out my hole, I'm like, whatever. But like ultimately, it says more about the person who's sharing it than me. And so all these people who share this.
Sure, it's just
on you.
It's just the conversation. Some of the things that I was reading online when people were talking about it, it did just like, I don't know, it kind of grossed me out the way that some people choose to talk about, and it's not just in that one instance of it just being James Charles. It's just the way that some gay people, and it's gay people
Of
specifically.
course. Yeah, like you're not the one fucking like spreading your whole. I mean, you're doing the same thing James Charles is doing, bitch.
No, but it's the way that certain ones talk about the. Like more feminine leaning gay people, that is like a little concerning, because it's like that's your community diva. Like these are people. This is a person,
and
like,
also they're the ones that are moving the needle more than the fucking idiots of you that are like being masked for mass fucking fishing, having like muscle orgies.
But also it'd be such a different conversation. It wouldn't be seen as like something. Like the way that people talk about it, like, oh, it's so gross, so nasty, like I threw up like when I saw it, like all this stuff. It's like, if James Charles was a masculine gay man that y'all found attractive,
I'd be like, oh, so hot.
No, y'all would be moaning and jerking off to that video, and it would be a completely different narrative. But because you don't find him desirable, you immediately are like, this is disgusting and gross. And it's like, maybe you should just not talk about that. Yeah. Maybe you should just keep that opinion to yourself. Also, it's a gross opinion to have.
Analyze yourself, check yourself.
Everyone is worthy of being desired. Just because you don't desire a person because of the way that they choose to dress, act, carry themselves, or just how they are as a person, does not negate that they are still a person and that they are worthy to have sexual encounters with people that are safe and consensual. Yeah. And shouldn't be at risk of having that exposed for public ridicule.
Yeah, and they're more than allowed and fucking should be empowered to express themselves sexually as sexual beings, because everyone deserves to feel sexual and sexy and horny and hot and you know.
And also just like living in this like really weird police state of just people feeling the need to either one, be recording everyone out in public, and just because you're like, oh, you did something that pissed me off, oh, and I'm gonna record you and publicly humiliate you in front of everybody online, sort of thing, instead of just handling it in the moment, just being like, you pissed me off, you said this thing that upset me, and try to work it out. Oh, no, I'm just gonna like shove a phone in your face and like whatever. Or you're gonna screen record something from a private moment to expose somebody. Like it's just to teach them a lesson. And it's just this whole concept that we have going on currently at the moment is so weird, and just like, leave people alone unless it's something that is genuinely awful that they're doing. Like if someone is like spewing hate speech and like doing something, or spreading misinformation, or like whatever, like killing somebody, or like, you know, or Austin Wolf having, you know, those sort of like that kind of being in these chat rooms for pedophilia, like that, those are like real situations to, you know, actually get upset and get up in arms about and post about. But like these other sort of situations, I don't know. I've just been seeing a lot of stuff like that recently, and it is just sort of disheartening. And it is like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
like, this is our community.
And honestly, like again, like whatever. I mean, there's so much to talk about. And honestly, do you think we should cut this portion and put it before Pioneers and Trailblazers so people don't like start checking out, and then we literally get into this topic?
I mean, if they're listening, they probably will continue just on listening.
Well, I know, but it was funny because we were wrapping up. You know, when you're wrapping up a podcast, you're like, oh, but then I guess the townspeople will see like there's like 20 minutes left, and they're like going on Pioneers and Trailblazers.
No, and I love it when podcasts that I listen to, when they're doing like the last.
You love that? Yeah.
I'll turn this off right now. I will. I'll yawn again, bitch. No, I like it.
You're gonna threaten me with yawns from now on.
No, I like it.
Don't make me yawn.
I like it when I'm listening to a podcast that if it's like I'm really engaged and I like want it to keep going, and I see that they're doing their last bit, but there's like 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so this is gonna be juicy.
And we're organic. We're an organic pot,
Yeah,
mama.
so it's good.
So, speaking of organic, please follow, like, and subscribe. You can follow us at Pioneers and Trailblazers on Instagram, Pioneers and Trailblazers on YouTube. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. I know there's some of you that haven't subscribed yet. And then you can follow us personally at Hey Peru on Instagram, at Hey Peru on TikTok, and at Hey Peru _ on X.
You can follow me at Nicholas.Rose on Instagram, ClownfaceBitch on Twitter/X, and ClownfaceBinch on TikTok, which I've kind of slowly been making a comeback.
Oh my god.
Getting another video that's getting traction.
Yeah, I didn't get the credit on the last video on TikTok as a camera operator. So
I
like
bet
to get credit, please.
it only got like 400 views over the
so you deleted it?
No, I made it friends only. But it was
Lame.
funny. A lot of people thought it was silly.
It was very funny. But anyway, we won't see you from this Monday for maybe another 10 days, maybe a little longer. So in the meantime, it's time to go binge those like other episodes. Go check out an episode that doesn't have like high views. Maybe go check it out. Revisit some of the older stuff from us. Is it time to start revisiting some stuff so you can help us grow, y'all? And
Okay.
until then,
Bye.
oh my god, season finale next episode. Ah!